Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest soared to fame with the viral video Christmas Jammies and proved that even a pandemic couldn't stop them from winning the amazing race. Now they're shining a personal spotlight on a condition that affects millions. We welcome the authors of ADHD is Awesome, Penn and Kim Holderness. Good morning, you two. How you doing?
We're doing great, Helen. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this book is awesome. Why did you want to write it? Why was it important for you to bring out the topic of ADHD?
Well, ADHD has gotten a bad rap over the last couple of decades, right? Like it's a negative sounding term, a deficit hyperactivity disorder. I can attest that it does stink in certain times. You forget things, you have trouble listening, but if you put the right systems in place, you know, to kind of help combat those things, what's left is a truly unique and kind of cool brain.
You talk about how sometimes it can actually be a superpower. You know, when I've seen your videos, I've always wondered, where do they get the energy? And there's so many. You are both such a creative team, and you work really well as a team, clearly. But there are some superpowers that you have with HDAD, right?
Yeah. A big misconception about ADHD is that it's a deficit of attention. I mean, it's in the name, right? Yeah. We actually have an abundance of attention. We have trouble directing that attention, and that's where we get into trouble. But if there's something that we really care about that's difficult, challenging, and new to us, we can enter into a type of hyperfocus where we can take a task and really knock it out of the park. In my case, a lot of that is creating content.
And I will say, as somebody who does not have ADHD, that's the part I get a little jealous of. He can sit there and edit a video. I think the reason why we're able to create so many videos and be so prolific is because he can sit there once he gets a concept or an idea, and he can write the lyrics of a song, or he can edit something together in, you know, a few hours, where it would take my brain a few days. So that really is a superpower.
Do you think that ADHD helped you win the amazing race?
1,000%. We went into it thinking that I would be the attention to detail person, but my brain, I sort of saw everything. I saw the cameraman and the sound guy, and I saw the other teams, and I got really overwhelmed. He entered into that hyper focus, and he could zone in and complete the task at hand, and 100% is the reason we won the amazing race.
Would you agree, Penn?
I mean, she was really helpful too. Let's just throw that out there. Like her kind of type A studying self was what got us through the last challenge. So yeah.
Okay.
A lot of.
And Kim, but there have been troubling times or tough times, challenging times for you as a couple, because you were not only a mom to 2 kids, but in some cases you were a mom to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, Helen, that, you know, before he started doing the work and the deep dive on his ADHD, you know, it was really charming, I have to tell you, when we first started dating. All of his ADHD quirks and creativity were really, really charming. You had a couple kids in there, and then people would say to me, like, oh, it's like you have 3 kids, and they would laugh. I did not find it funny.
No.
I know. So I will give credit to Penn. He wanted to understand why he was doing some of the things he was doing. He dug in and did the work. And because he did the work and all of this research, this is a research-based book. It has helped me as a mom to somebody with ADHD and as a partner to someone with ADHD understand their brains. And I really think it's helped us grow closer.
Did you feel, Penn, at any time ashamed?
Absolutely. A huge part of an ADHDer's journey is shame, because it's not something that you did, it's something that you are, right? Anytime you mess up, you feel like you're letting someone that you love down. And especially when you don't really know why. That's one of the biggest reasons why you feel ashamed. So it was great to learn more about it.
Okay, there have been many times when you kind of put the family at not many times, but sometimes when the family was at risk, and then Kim had to figure things out, how to solve this problem. Where did you leave your luggage, or that you left, you know, the stove on, that kind of thing, right? So that had to be so challenging. So now you have hacks to help you remember things. Tell me about some of those fun hacks that you put in the book.
Used to leave the stove on. Now I tell Siri to set a 10-minute timer.
Oh,
all right.
Good idea.
Yep. Used to leave my keys all over the place, especially near food, because food is like an ADHDer's kryptonite. Now I have a specific place where I put all my keys. Used to leave the toilet seat up and my wife would have a splashdown in the middle of the night. Now I pee sitting down. I know that's a weird solution, but it works.
It works.
And I never leave the toilet seat up anymore.
He also has a magnet that he puts on top of the car, and it doesn't hold anything, but it's a visual cue, kind of like breaks the focus. And so now he no longer leaves coffee cups on top of his car. So he has a lot of little systems he's put in place to make the day run smoother.
You mentioned that you're also a mom to someone with ADHD. How have you learned to handle that?
I have to say, even living with somebody with ADHD who has found the plus sides, when my son got the diagnosis, it was really daunting and overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like another reason we did all the research on this book, is to try to understand his brain. I will say I would get really frustrated having to remind every morning, like, every morning, guys, we need shoes. Every morning we need to eat breakfast. But now I understand why the ADHD brain needs these reminders and these cues. So we have a list not just on the refrigerator, but on the door as you leave. So we have established a system to help our son because we understand his brain now.
I also know that you mentioned the superpower. He picks really good gifts, you say.
I have to say, the ADHD brain, it is there's science that we talk about in this book. It has been studied. The ADHD brain is more creative.
Yeah.
It just really is. They are the outside the box thinkers. So I have to say, 100%. In our couplehood here, he gives the better gifts.
I have to remind myself to do the gifts. But then I think there's an advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you talk in the book, Kim, about the gift he gave you as an anniversary gift to remember the time he proposed, which is so sweet.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that we may have committed, or he may have committed a little
Federal offense.
Federal offense.
A little crime.
A little crime.
right.
That's okay. But he proposed in Central Park because we were moving to New York City at the time, and then we were pretty broke our first, Christmas together, and so we weren't going to spend any money on each other. But he gave me a jar holding. He had gone and chipped off some of where the boulder where he had proposed, and that still sits on our coffee table today, where he proposed.
Waiting for the police.
Waiting for the police.
And now we talked about it on television.
All right, Penn, any advice to people out there who are just maybe finding out now that they do have ADHD?
Yeah, like you said, you may feel ashamed at times, but just please know that you're not alone. Your brain's not broken. I have a similar brain. Everyone's got their own type of ADHD, but if you start looking at the things that aren't working and try to find systems to put in place to improve them, what is left is pretty great. Like, I'm 100% certain that my creativity is a result of my ADHD.
It's fantastic. Oh, and also wearing cargo pants. That was another tip you gave folks, which I think is a great idea.
Yep, cargo pants, pants with zippers. Just keep all your stuff with you and on your person, and then make sure you take them out before you put them in the laundry.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. All right, want to tell everyone the book is called ADHD is Awesome, a guide to mostly thriving with ADHD. Thank you both, Penn and Kim Holderness. Thank you both so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Ellen.
You bet. We'll be right back with more AIM Northwest. Don't go away.